How important is conforming and non-conforming in our society, and how do we know? When we take a look at the concept of conforming, we have to take a look at the overall situation, because there are numerous of situations where both conforming and non-conforming can be good. For example, conforming can be good when we're conforming to expectations and laws that everyone in the world needs to conform to. Also, things that we all consider to be the right answer, like in math, how we all consider 2 plus 2 to equal 4. But also, non-conforming can be really good in our world today because it gives everyone almost their unique kind of characteristics. Also, it creates your own beliefs and opinions. But in today's society, sometimes we see people that do not go with their own beliefs and opinions because they want to be like everybody else and they want to fit in. They don't want to feel like the outlier. And also, we see this today in religion where a child is raised around a certain religion and is grown up around it, and then they grow up to have different beliefs, although they still conform to the religion that their family has taught them and told them to believe in. But that ends up being bad because they're conforming to something that they don't even believe in. And another example of where non-conforming is good is when you're presented with information or evidence and things like that, and then you have to take your own spin on it and form your own ideas and create your own personal bias towards it. Now we're gonna take a look through the math lens. When we take a look at conforming and non-conforming in the math lens, we see that both conforming and non-conforming can be good for different reasons. Conforming is good in the math lens because we all have to conform to the numbering system, and we also have to conform to things that I mentioned earlier, like 2 plus 2 equals 4 and 5 times 5 equals 25. And things that are essential that we non-conform to are how we solve the problems, because there are many different ways that we can solve these math problems, and it becomes very good that everyone in the world has their own unique ways of solving these problems. Also, it is good that we not conform to when we see a formula, other people can try to figure out how to create new methods and new formulas that may be faster or better. Now we're going to take a look through the natural science lens. The natural science lens includes biology, chemistry, and physics. Now this is similar to math because they have the same way of how both conforming and non-conforming can be good, because things that we should conform to in the natural science lens are how we define things, like how we all know what gravity is, and we can all conform to the concept of gravity, and we can all conform to the concept of elements. And also, what it's essential that we conform to is proven evidence, like things that we have done many and multiple experiments on, and there's just no way around it. It's just proven for a fact that this is how it is, and we cannot change it. But it's also very important that we non-conform in the natural science lens, because we can create new methods and formulas like previously how the math lens can, and also you should not conform about beliefs and about certain concepts. Like you might believe something that someone else doesn't believe, and that is very important when it comes to non-conforming the natural science lens. And also, a way of non-conforming in the natural science lens is proving experiments wrong, because everyone may be conforming to an experiment that everyone thinks is right, but someone else can go and prove this experiment wrong even though they're not conforming.
Conformity and nonconformity throughout history. Let's start with conformity. For conformity, I'll be using the propaganda that the Nazis used before and during World War II. Joseph Goebbels said, "If you tell a lie big enough and keep repeating it, people will eventually come to believe it." Hitler is known for saying, "What good fortune for governments that people do not think." Now, his policies were based on the premise that most individuals are conformists who do not think for themselves. They thought that it was possible to manipulate popular opinion using propaganda techniques including name-calling, fear, and the bandwagon. You're either for us or against us. Kind of like all these Golden State Warriors fans coming out of nowhere. But if you're like me, you're a non-conformist. Which leads me to Galileo. Galileo challenged the social norm at the time that the sun revolved around the earth. He thought that it was heliocentrism, everything revolves around the sun. He said, "We cannot teach people anything, we can only tell them and help them discover it within themselves." That's very important for nonconformity because it says, I can teach you this, I can help you with this, but you have to come up with your own ideas and your own thoughts, and you have to be individual and do your own thing. Whereas the Nazis thought, since everybody's just going to conform and do what they want and listen to us, we can just put out whatever we want and say that the Aryan race and the Aryan people are the dominant race and that the Jewish are to blame for all of our problems. And it's important that we learn about conformity and nonconformity throughout history because it can teach us different things that are good and bad. Rita Mae Brown has said, "The reward for conformity is that everyone likes you but yourself."
Today I'm going to talk about conformity in religion. And conformity means you comply with rules or laws or ideas. So people change their attitudes, behaviors, ideas to comply with these rules or laws or ideas. And a person can conform in one of four ways: bad to good, good to bad, bad to worse, good to better. And I will focus on two of these ideas of conforming in the religious world. An example of a religious leader who went from good to better is Jesus Christ. And when Jesus Christ was alive, he only had thousands of followers. Only thousands. But today, Jesus has billions of followers. And he did this in many different ways, as the Bible states, which is full of facts why people can conform to the ways that Jesus lived his life and the ideas that Jesus had and that his followers had. So that's why people are attracted and conform to the ideas that Jesus has and people have nowadays. Another form of conformity is bad to worse. So the religious leader I chose for this is Osama bin Laden. Osama bin Laden is a religious leader who created a organization which is a terrorist organization who kills people who are for or agree with Israel, the state of Israel. And these guys are bad guys. They kill people a lot. They were in charge of the terrorist act of 9/11. 9/11 was a very bad deal which affected a lot of people throughout the world, but mostly in the United States. It is not a good type of conformity, and Osama bin Laden is not a good type of person with conformity. So that's basically conformity within religion. Thanks.